Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we're going to take a look at Beat Machine. Now make no mistake, this is very, very, very good. Definitely one of the best drum machines, and it's just had a huge update. So I thought it's a good time to run you through this app. Okay, so you can see it's MPC style pads here. And for each pad, you have a sound and a waveform representation there, and you have stacks of other effects. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with if you go to pattern here, I'm going to start with a new pattern, and I'm going to 4/4 16 steps. So you could have 2/4 8 steps, 3/4 12 steps, 5 8 10 steps, and 7 8 14 steps. And we're going to start with 4/4. So basic standard, basic style rock patterns here. Okay, so let's go back to pads here. And you see I've got vinyl kit selected. Well, we can change our kits by selecting, so close that there, by selecting load, and we can see we have kits here, patterns here, and songs there. So we can make songs as well from the patterns that we've got. Okay, so we get these kits here, and the ability to make our own kits too. So we're going to stick with this one, I think, which is the one I've been playing with. No, it doesn't matter. It's fine. Anyway, so you see here that we have some pads that are marked as just pads, and yeah, I don't think you can change the names of this part in this section, but you hit sample here and it will show you what's actually loaded onto the pads. Now, this is the way I like to work with the app. So we can see that the top 4 are empty there, and that one's empty as well. And then we have a crash and various samples in those pads as well. And if you notice here, we have this little thing that says kick, snare, tom, hat. Well, that refers to the synth, which is an in-app purchase, only 69p, and you can program in your own drums and sounds as well. We'll get to that later. Oh, and also there's this pitch as well. Now you can hear now that I've got some noise going on here, and we can change the amount of noise and stuff, so you can get some nice turntable and vinyl effects going on, plus do some other things as well. Right. We can also import our own samples from Audio Share, which is very, very, very good. This is what we're going to do as well. And set our tempo. Obviously, there's our CPU usage there, and the name of our kit. And we have basic settings down here: start, play, and then play from the start. So basically, if we just hit play, nothing will happen because we have an empty pattern. So let's start to program our pattern. You'll see here you have one measure. As soon as I press record, it will just stay on that one measure until I've finished sorting out the pattern for measure 1. So if we just hit record and play, we get a counting in. You can see our count along the top here. So there you go. And then we can skip over to pattern 2, see? Now, when you create a pattern is defaulted at two measures long. So once we get into measure 2, which we are now, we hit record. And actually what we can also do, I'll just show you, is we can go to the pattern section here, and we can, let's just drop over back to pattern 1. We can put in our notes as well, so we're not stuck with recording, and we can actually program like a normal step sequence there. So let's copy pattern 1, and it'll paste it to pattern 2, and then we can make some adjustments to pattern 2. Well, I like to do it with recording, so if we hit record there, it's already on. It'll stay on pattern 2 now until I've finished. So if we press stop, let's jump over to 3. Oops. Right, okay. So we go to pattern 3 and just delete that now. delete that pattern. We'll just be left with our two started patterns. So pattern 1, measure 2, and it'll just repeat between the two. Now at this point now, we might say, well, yeah, that's all very well. I don't like the sound of that kit. I'll choose another one. So if we hit load, we can choose acoustic room kit and load that in there. And we can play with that. So let's choose one of these empty pads here. So there's nothing, we know there's nothing there in pad 13. So let's import a sound. Or what we can do is let's go to the synth here. We can make some adjustments to the synth sound. Well, let's leave it at that there, and we can just hit sample there, and sorry, not that sample. Done. Want to place that synth into that. There's adjustments to that synth into that section. Well, it's already done for us. So all we need to do is close that now, and if I hit one of these little squares, you'll see that it's been loaded in. And another cool thing as well here is if I've got this ride and I wanted to add one of the synth sounds over the top of that, I can. So I can hit Tom there, make sure there's a little X in it, and it's in there. See? So we've still got our kick and our tom there. And if we go to pitch here, we can make some adjustments. So say we wanted a really noisy sound there, we can just go resample and overwrite there. So resample. Okay, sorry. Oh no, I don't want to rename it. We can import as well from our iTunes thing. So if I close that now. Now there's a way I did this earlier, and I can't remember what I did, but there's a way to set your I'll try again. Sample, pitch. Ah, yeah, success. So I can load this into the current pad. Sorry, it does do this. So load and see, we've got the effect. Okay, so there's that. So now we've got our two measures that we've just done for our acoustic room kit. Now if we wanted to, we can now save this, and we can save pattern, save kit, or save both. So we can click on save both there. So I've now saved the acoustic room kit with the extra bits and pieces added. Okay, so let's go to load, and let's load this vinyl kit now. Load. Now I made some adjustments to this kit earlier as well, so I imported a Gothic bell from one of the samples that we did for the Patreon pack. But this will play, and that's a snare that I made as well. And if we load now a pattern here, this is a pattern that I made earlier as well, so you can hear with that particular vinyl kit. Now getting down to this now, so let's load an empty, let's load a page there. So there's nothing in it now, so if you hit a page it empties the pad. Let's go to audio share in, and let's find a sound that we can use here for this. So there's the Gothic Bell one, but let's have something instead. Let's have I don't know what this is. Okay, we'll put that in. Okay, now that's gone into there. Now that was really loud, so I'm going to just adjust that now. So we know it's pad 12. Now here's where we can go to the mixer. Here, find our pad number 12. And I'm going to turn the volume down on that pad quite considerably. And go back and see how that sounds. Okay. So that's fine now. So we know it's C4 because I named it C4 and that was the note I sampled it at. So what I'm going to do now is show you another quite cool thing you can do. So I'm going to say what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this kit now. Save kit. Okay, now I'm going to overwrite it because I'll leave it as vinyl kit, and that'll be there for the thing. I'm going to go to pattern, and I'm going to do a new pattern now. Same thing again, 4/4, and I'm just going to record some very basic drums here. So if we start with this. So that's super simple. Let's go to our mixer again and turn down that snare. It's on pad number 13. Rock up a little bit more, I think. Turn that off. So, and number 2, there's nothing in there, so better put something in number 2. So stop again, we can go to pattern. Let's just copy. The current measure will be copied to a new measure. Okay, so copy. Right, okay, I don't think we've got any more, so we can delete pattern 3 because it's made me a new pattern. Cancel. Sorry. Delete. So now I only have 2 patterns, 2 measures, sorry. Let's get back there and just play, see what we've got. Okay, so I want to do something with that sound. Now let's go to the 16 levels setting here. We can hit 16 levels and on pitch or velocity. Now, if you can see 0 semitones, that will be the that will be the original tone. Now it's going on a bit long, isn't it? So let's cut it. Okay, let's cut it a bit more. So let's just have a play around with that. Okay, so you get the idea. Now what we could do as well is we have some effects we can add. So if we go to effects here, we can add some, let's turn the delay on there and go back to our mixer. Actually, let me go back to pads and check what pad it was, number 12. So pad number 12 here, and we can see the delay and reverb. So delay is that one there. Let's start it off first. See, we've now added some delay to the synth sound. And it's still a bit loud. Put some reverb on it as well, I think. Now, if we wanted to actually change the sound of that even further, what we could do is start to alter the sample rate and the bit rate. So when we've done that, what we can do is we can add patterns that we've made to a song in the timeline there, and I'll show you just that change. But if we wanted to add another one, we could. So we could add any of these patterns in now to the timeline here. So that's that. So you see, guys, it's pretty. And velocity works obviously the different way that pitch works, and it's all recordable into your thing. But the fact that you can bring sounds in and then do your editing in there as well, your basic editing, your start and stop. You can also reverse. Now also you have control over your ADSR. Make sure your ADSR button is switched on, so you can control the attack, decay, the sustain and release. High quality audio or a filter. You can have filters set on. So you switch filter on. An attack. Switch ADSR on. Switch HQ on, it just improves the audio quality a bit. We can reverse. Oh, there's nothing to. There's no. If I was to set this a bit further back, you'd hear it. It's only short though. And and the speed. So you can see it's very, very powerful, and there's a lot you can do. There's a lot you can do with the Beat Machine, and it's very, very, very cool. The editing feature is brilliant. So if you spend, time doing it properly, don't forget you get the pattern. So you can program patterns in manually if you want to, just by pushing the places where you want drums to be, for instance. So it's very, very cool indeed. And you go down there and you can find the rest of them. And there's where you can add as many measures as you like, of course. So, you know, you can add, we've got 2 here, haven't we? So we can add another. Yes, add. So here's 3, and then we could add another, and so on and so forth. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this and found it useful, and I'll see you later.